Yeah.
Are you good, Steven?
Yes.
Because it's like considered the golden standard, so is Nikon, but I don't know. Like I want it to be attached to the equipment. I want it to like want it.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't want to just look at it as a tool.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So you wanted the difficulty of like using it. You want to be a part of it,
Yeah,
and not
and I
like.
definitely like.
I'm surprised you don't shoot with film then.
That's too much work. I don't want to pay to have to develop it, and film is expensive itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's too much. It's like to me that like this is like sport climbing.
Yeah.
Like shooting film is like climbing trad. Like I feel like I'm having to
telling me
work.
you want to do it?
It's like working for my climbing, and I just want to climb.
That's funny. So what's your medium?
What do you mean?
Like, what do you primarily like focus on? Like, drawing, painting, or?
Oh, when I was a kid?
Yeah.
Lots of drawing. I could paint as well, but I wasn't nearly as skilled. But yeah, like drawing was the big thing, and then eventually, as I got older, I obviously explored things like Photoshop and just the Adobe Suite. So I went to school for graphic design. Once I was there, though, I was like, I need to get the fuck out. Very promptly, yeah. So I stayed there for only like a year and a half, and then I was like, I can't do this anymore, and I dropped out.
At least, like, you didn't drop out. You just discovered something different. Or like,
I don't draw anymore.
really,
Yeah.
you just discover what you're good at. I just hate like when people say I dropped out. I'm like, did you drop out or did you discover what your passion was?
No, I dropped out.
Really?
I dropped out, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like cold turkey, and it was really hard.
Really?
Because I grew up doing it as a kid, right?
Right.
So, for me, it was a big identity thing. It's like, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to draw. I wanted to create. But to go to school and discover that it's not your jam is difficult.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you could still draw.
I can,
right? But you don't need to
don't-
be
I don't
classically
have that same
motivation.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it anymore.
Do you think school took that out of you?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Gosh, that sucks.
Yeah, that's why it's like setting was kind of like a saving grace because it's like, I could still be creative, but I could combine my what now is like passion of climbing with it. So it kind of filled the boxes, if you will. Yeah.
Right. So you found a new medium in plastic holds.
Yeah.
But so do you find inspiration coming out here and doing this?
Yes and no. I find a lot of the inspiration is actually dependent on like certain things that are not necessarily in my control when I'm setting. So like the handhold selection that I have, or
Right.
also the angle of the wall, because they do play importantly with one another to determine the grade as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there are restrictions, but it's not like I feel like I don't have freedom to explore, and that's the biggest difference.
That's so cool.
Yeah. With like client work, it's like no, it's like they want this,
Right.
and you don't even know what it is necessarily because you have to imagine it.
God,
And that's
sucks.
the creativity part, obviously, of it, which is nice. But then it's like if they don't like it, then you're fucked, and you have to spend more time doing the same thing.
It's like almost makes sense to have a design firm with multiple different graphic designers.
That's
and
what
just
happens, yeah, typically.
be like, hey, this guy, I'm not feeling his stuff. Let's try a different dude.
Yeah, so they'll usually contract a firm sometimes to create their things or whatnot. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like being a freelance graphic designer is not easy. Very difficult. You have to be either you get lucky or you have to have a pretty expensive portfolio. Doing something that people want in general.
I just feel like that's got to be a tough job.
It's not easy. Yeah.
Like mentally draining. Mine, like you just get cussed out at.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're fine. The other ones, like you put so much of like your talent, so much energy in it.
Oh, that's it.
I'm just like, well, this is this because this is this,
Yeah.
right? It's black and white.
And like a lot of clients don't understand. It's like, oh, can't you do it in this amount of time? No, because if you want the quality of work that you desire and that you're paying for, it's going to take this amount of time.
Right.
Right. It's not so simple as like, oh, like the analogy that I've seen is like, this designer, goes on a business lunch with one of their clients, and the client wants this particular thing drawn.
Yeah.
He takes out a napkin and draws it out in 30 seconds, and it's like that's 6 figures, or whatever. How much for that drawing, right?
Right.
But the thing is that it's not a matter of it being 30 seconds. It's the fact that it took him how many ever years of experience and failure to get to that point, and people don't understand that.
That's interesting.